All right, so just wrapping up
Well
the
done.
6 types of working genius, and the reality is this: we are all now officially geniuses.
Yes.
So it's official done. Just
I
hot
know
off the
what my
press.
genius is officially.
And what is it?
Innovator
Okay, good.
and galvanizer.
So, Austin, kind of give a recap as we're literally cleaning up, wrapping up everything.
Yeah.
What went on here, and then we're going to flip it over to the directors of Indiana operation in Illinois, and let them take it away.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is probably one of the greatest summits that we've ever done. There were no numbers involved, so for me to say that was actually
No composite.
Pretty interesting. Not getting the composite, I thought it was the best one. We went over Open Table, which I've been calling it. It's like Table Group, but Open Table, I get confused. Patrick Lencioni's
Good food on Open Table.
Making a
leadership
reservation?
management program defined by the 6 working geniuses. They spell out the word widget, WIDGET.
I didn't even recognize that. It
And
does spell
these-
out which.
I was looking until like this morning it clicked and I saw it and I'm like,
Yeah.
thankfully now I can work my way through it.
They describe different levels of work, different kinds
Yeah.
of work, and so we are trying to align ourselves, become self-aware, and also build teams
Yeah.
that are going to accomplish these different things. Now, I think the widget and what you are is important, but it's just going to tell you what kind of work that you enjoy, which, that was like, at the end of the day, joy, right? And so your entire job is not going to be joyful, but can you stay in those lanes that create joy and avoid burnout? So,
I think
what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that's a big one. I think the purpose of having you guys grab the mics is literally they're still cleaning up. They're going to kick us out at some point for sure. Is really get
We got some
into
time.
how do you guys take this and implement this in a director role? Because, I mean, my mind's going 1,000 different directions. I don't know if I have clarity coming out of here even.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of time on the ride home to actually try to decompress this and figure out how do you implement it coming next week, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to adhere to the rule, no changes in the first 24 hours of re-entering the dealership
Yep.
world.
Mark
Safe-
Roger. Is
safe-
that a Mark
safe rule.
Rogers?
How many
Safe
people have you texted
recommendation?
so far, though?
Nothing
Let's
about
hold you
this.
accountable
Zero
to
about
that.
this.
Okay.
Zero about this. So, but I think come Monday, what's that look like, and what do you guys hope to accomplish with this? Like the purpose of it.
Well, I think one of my greatest takeaways of this is well-rounded teams outperform well-rounded leaders. And so unpack that a little bit. I really want to focus on my executive level team and then help them really build out what another thing I took away was looking at the word culture a different way, and it is healthy.
That's good.
What
Yeah.
does healthy look like inside the executive team and how we communicate, work, challenge, build out new ideas. And then inside of the dealership level, what does healthy look like, right? And really try to unpack that at the dealership level, because at the end of the day, the intentions of the Rohrman Auto Group and the intentions of our GMs is to have healthy dealerships that outperform just an individual. They perform well as a whole, right? So
Very hard for our industry, right, to grasp
We're
some of
dogs, aren't we?
these concepts.
dogs,
It's
yeah.
like we sell cars, we
Make
make
money.
money. Like, I don't know. Chase, what do you got?
last month?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I thought one of the things that was super insightful for me is that, it was surprising to figure out some of my executive team's geniuses.
Yeah.
And some of their letters surprised me. And in that surprising, it made me rethink how I structure meetings and how I collaborate with my team.
Yep.
Because I think, the way that I do meetings, I kind of do them the same every time. But now having people labeled with these different geniuses, I can bring them into the fold and say, you know what? I want to start with you because you are my wonder. And then I'll work my way down that widget line because that's kind of like the trail or the roadmap to get to like a good thought out decision. So I'm going to start with my wonder, go with some my invention, and rework the way that I do meetings and give people chances to have input in those meetings.
I think that's such a key point. And for those who are going to be watching this, listening from the dealership side level, and go, what the heck are they talking about widgets? Again, it's what Austin said. It's really where you find joy in work. And great example, Austin and I are polar opposites.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get into the thoughts of, like, understanding why the decision was made,
Right.
make sure that decision was thought through, and then I'm going to champion it and run with it.
Yep.
So that would be, a big time for me is like a galvanizer. I want to know why, and I'll go and I'll battle cry. I don't even know if it was the right decision.
Sure.
On the other side, I really struggle with the idea of why it was created and then seeing it all the way through. And your side is?
Well, and it was one of the things too, like if we work together on a project,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a couple different ideas where I have like 5 ideas that I want to articulate. After I articulate the first one, you're like, oh, love it, let's do it. I'm like, well, wait a second, I wasn't done.
Slow
You've
down,
talked enough,
more
it's my turn.
wander,
Yeah,
more
so, like-
discernment.
Yep.
I think, but that's where those two can be powerful because, if you slow down for a minute and then you can also take what I would say is like maybe the burden of making the decision, implementing it for me. Now, part of that stuck out was, okay, I have all these great ideas. Well, now I need to stop and make time to actually decide and implement them.
Yeah, and I love, Chase, what you said about meetings because, like, think about how different everyone's going to respond to every meeting now. If you're going to where it's their joy spot versus literally, this is another 3 hours, and I'm going to have to listen to
what are we
Austin
doing in
literally
this
tell me
3-hour
why
meeting?
we need to think about this.
Totally.
To be fair, nobody has joy in those meetings. So let's be
Well-
very clear.
On top of that, too, like they talked about at the beginning, set the tone for what we're doing in this meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this meeting, this is,
Clarity.
yeah, like what are we doing? This is implementation phase, right? And, you said you do this, but it's setting a timer, making sure that it doesn't drag on too long, too.
Chase, talk about that. At the very end of it, there was a pie chart that was shown. And the first graph was behavior, like building teams and competency. And then it was clarity.
Yeah.
Like, walk through what that stood out as, like, an operations where you walk in and you go, all right, here's the new process. We're implementing it. All right, ready, break.
Yeah.
But their chart shows it 3 times out of the 4 parts of building.
Yeah,
a
I think
team.
that we heard the word slow down or the phrase slow down a lot. And I think slow down inside of clarity is really important because, I tend to, almost like show a target and say that's where we're going to aim. Now let's get there. Let's go. Right? But sometimes we got to slow down and really think through and be super clear on not only like what the target is and why it's important, but how did we get there? How did we get to the fact that is our target? And it's important to not only the group, but it's important to every different level of leadership and every different employee in the company.
Yeah. And one thing we didn't really talk about at all in the last 2 days is how it affects the customer.
True.
And it definitely does. And what I think about
Yeah.
is the customer experience will never outweigh the employee experience. You guys, I've said that a lot. And if the employee isn't intentionally working more, because these are all 6-letter jobs, if the employee isn't working more in their working genius, what's the customer experience going to be, right? If we got we potentially have the wrong person working as a service advisor, right? What is the experience for the customer? And I think that's a good question to ask as we take this back into the stores and we learn more, right? 2 days, we're not experts. I kept wanting to speed through the learning process in this and being like, how can I apply?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which would be your flow state.
it would be. Yeah, exactly. So
Okay,
slow
what am I going
down,
to do?
Slow
First thing when
down.
I get in, what am I going to do?
I love that. My entire team's in the room. So that's for you and I.
Yeah.
I mean, we just had
For us, it was
we just
it
had
was perfect for
experts
us.
set the stage with all of our team.
Yeah.
So we're spoiled because now the group's going to take it further downfield, getting Rohrman team members, Banyan team members certified, which is great, and taking this down further.
Do you know what I thought was cool too? Is one of the quotes.
He's tapping me.
Tap counter.
Hey, give it back.
I tapped the table on the podcast.
One of the
Trey, be quiet. Chase's turn.
one of the quotes they said, and I'm not going to say it perfectly, but it's when your team talks behind a closed door,
Yeah.
you can argue and you can have intellectual differences, but when you open that door and you walk out of the room,
Such a good point.
you have like perfect alignment.
Yeah.
And I love that, and we've talked about that a little bit, but I thought that really was like it's an easy way to just think about those words and put them in the action. I loved it. You walk out of there, you might have fought, you might have yelled,
Yeah.
You might have, had a red face the whole time, but when you walk out, you're in perfect alignment. And anybody asks you, yeah, I support that idea 100%.
We might have to get away from calling it corporate.
I was gonna say that. What
Zach.
Trey? Let's you and I
I was
have
gonna
a
say
therapy
Zach.
session here.
I did think about that. Yeah.
Zach.
Don't Zach. This
This
is a
isn't-
two-way conversation.
Yeah, I
here.
get sucked into it by your negative energy.
My
No.
negative. What is this market conversation again? This is the worst podcast ever.
I love when I'm like,
PMA's so small, I can't be
This
a
is the
leader.
worst conversation ever.
Can't be a
Logan,
leader.
please insert the clip of him talking about market.
He just said your store has no opportunity to be first place. He will
Well, my
take your
store-
soul
My
and
store
eat
has
it.
no opportunity to take first place if it's in the single point location. Those stores that have two rooftops,
Sure,
you
it is
can't
gonna-
beat the champ if you can't get to the champ numbers.
I
So-
thought you couldn't be the champ.
No, well, I'm tired of running by myself.
single point
and then you're gonna have 400. So you're gonna have some.
I'm always like, yeah,
My
that's corporate.
PMA
So
is
no
so
more-
small.
corporate
Yeah.
Yeah,
communication,
If I say-
terminology.
Well, here's what I say. That's corporate, and someone will say, "Well, you're corporate." I said, "Well, no, real corporate."
I'm fake corporate.
Yeah, the story today that I thought resonated so well was, the presenter was sharing the CEO of the company, stood up at the end and knew that he was going to make a decision that was going to be disagreed upon. Everyone was going to have their own
Already
opinion.
was.
And the statement was at the end, can you support it?
Yep.
Not,
Yep.
agree with it, not
Right.
champion it.
Is this
just
your
can you
idea?
support it?
No.
Can you walk out of here and can you make sure that you're good to present this?
Yeah.
And Chase, what an aha moment, because there are things that I go, hey, this is something that I don't understand completely. Not my place. It was the decision made, and I'm in that role where I have to look at it and say, this is the decision we made. And
But I
this
think
is
it's
the
cool
decision we're
because
doing.
it works at every level.
Yeah.
You can go to the salespeople, you can do the same thing. You can go to your managers, you can do the same thing. You can go to advisors. It works at every level.
It does. Right.
This is the direction. Can you support me? Every level it works. That's
I'm going to try that with my wife when I get home tonight. I don't
know if that
she's
level.
gonna
I don't know if
agree.
it works on that level
Hey,
or not.
24 hours. You can't implement anything.
Oh, yeah, that's
That
the
could be-
dealership. At
no,
home,
you
right
can
away.
It's
Take it right
probably
to the
worse.
home.
It's
Right
probably
in the
worse
home.
at home.
All right, guys. Well, here, wrapping this up, I got the question for you. What's the aha? You walk out of here, and if anybody doesn't listen to anything else, they go, these are the things that I'm going to see different in your days of operation and lives. What's the aha takeaway?
Do they have to make a decision right now? Because that we got to take some time. and
Austin,
pause
we have
and
had
think
2
about
days
it
of
and-
high
Can you
quality
give your
leadership
aha
development.
moment? Can you give your aha?
My aha moment.
Yeah,
which
why
I
don't you
will
guys
give
share?
There's
Buying time.
there's 3
okay.
phases to work. So there's the ideation
Yes.
phase.
Mhm.
There's
Now
the
you're stealing mine.
activation stage, and then there is the
Implementation.
implementation stage. Yes. So it's like, man, you need all of those phases, and there's time for all of those phases.
Right.
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 So I thought that was good. That was my aha moment.
Mine was literally they showed it's the 5 dysfunctions of a team,
Yeah.
but it's the second half of this of, we in the auto industry look at results always as the end all be all, and that should be the last step of the chart. And when you flip it upside down and he works backwards and saying this is the wrong way to look at it,
Yeah.
it's like, yep, did that this week, yep, did that last week, yep, did that in the month,
Totally.
yep, planning to do that tomorrow.
Yep.
And
Asked a
literally-
question about that in this meeting.
Yeah, so it's like, man, how sick has it been for us just to see how we thought we were supposed to lead people and do it to the best of our abilities and realize we are the problem that's creating the chaos or the dysfunctions. So now that we've taken those 2 away, there's only a couple left.
Biggest takeaway had to be that Patrick Lencioni gives his team the empowerment to say, "This podcast sucks. I'm out of here."
Oh no! Oh, all right.
Just
I
walk
guess
away.
That's
it. It's a mic drop.
That was a mic drop moment.
Now you got to
Wow.
explain it though, because literally that's going to be just the
Wow.
hot take.
So death by meeting, right? We talked about meetings a little bit, but I don't think we ever actually dropped that. So his book, Death by Meeting, which I haven't read, so I'm not going to act like an expert. But I schedule a lot of meetings. I probably, in the state of Indiana, schedule the most, like I throw the most meetings on my team's calendar. So really taking a different approach to meeting agenda. And with clarity on what I'm hoping to accomplish in this meeting. I think that's got to be on top of, I think what Austin said is great, looking at the lens of 3 stages of work. I think that was great.
And I think the 10-minute timer, just because I've been in plenty of those meetings, the 10-minute timer of going off to emergency set, reset, now it's time to recap clarity. So like now we're done speaking. Now it's just make sure we're all on the same page so we don't walk out of here. you go this way, I go this way, and we all look
Right.
at each other going, what do we actually have the meeting for?
Right.
So I'm hoping you get a timer in the mail because I ordered one from Amazon.
Perfect.
Boom. Well, mine's basic. They said the phrase a lot: focus on the task.
That's good.
And to focus on the task means to really put some time into prep work for your conversations and for your meetings, so that you can focus on the task, that you can be direct, that you can have the right people in the room and the right personalities in the room to come to the greatest outcome at the quickest speed. Because there's a lot of power in speed, but it has to be thought out, and you have to take the time that is needed to really poke holes in ideas, put ideas through filters,
Yeah.
and come to the greatest outcome with the fastest speed.
Powerful.
Love it. So now we're all geniuses. So that means we head back to the dealership, take over the world.
I didn't even have to take an IQ test, which I honestly thought turning my shower on this morning was an IQ test.
I almost had
That was hard.
call.
I did not feel like a
I
genius
almost
trying
had
to
a
turn my
call.
shower on this
We
morning.
were not a wanderer.
I was to the very end of needing to call down and
So,
ask
but did
how
you
to
have
do it.
tenacity? Did you get it
I
figured out?
literally
getting
took a picture of it to show my wife. There was instructions on there.
I almost
You
used
or the shower?
ChatGPT.
Hey, today my aha moment would be how to collaborate more efficiently with my team. So I'm excited moving forward from here.
I know what I'd love to do. I love getting people pumped up. I love people getting jacked up. But man, I got some weaknesses, and today really helped me identify those weaknesses. And one of the big weaknesses is I talk too fast. I pull people over. I talk too much smack, and I don't give clear directions. And then I get frustrated, and I wonder why, right? So this has been a great training. It's allowed me to figure out where I need to get better, and I can't wait to take it back to the store.
My biggest takeaway was that all of us controllers, a lot of us were mostly the same types. We were W and T, and W is kind of the beginning, and T is the end. It's a finish line where you get everything finished, done. So if we get involved earlier and we can ask questions that others may not think of, we might be able to help get the end result much sooner and better.
All right, we are here, spent a lot of time, a lot of fun, and brought in a lot of resources, right? People, time, and talking about the 6 types of working genius around Patrick Lencioni's work. You know, with our roles as executives and leaders in this company, you know, I guess, why are we doing this? Why did we take this time out of the store in January? I think that's also something really cool, is really setting the tone for 2026 and inspiring our general managers to go and really champion. You know, we talked about how looking at culture through the lens of healthy, which really kind of hit me right in the face. And it's like, wow, what does healthy look like? And we have to keep healthy a priority if we're expecting results that aren't normal. Right. So as the CEO of the Rohrman Auto Group, what did the last 2 days mean to you, seeing your team in the room and really seeing all of the ideas, the aha moments? You know, I thought that was kind of cool. What did it look like to you?
It looked like what I wanted it to be. And I think the big thing now is, what is the application, right, you know, of it all? It's sometimes challenging, I think, to sit in a room for 2 days and just ingest information, especially when you had, I mean, this is new for us. We've never paid an outside company to come in and to take over our summit for 2 days. Like, if you think of our agenda over the last 24 hours, we didn't talk about anything else.
No
really.
composite.
There was no, we didn't even have a composite in the room. No numbers.
That's wild.
So it's new for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been doing this now for 6 years, I want to say.
Yeah.
So completely new concept. The GMs aren't used to it.
No.
I saw them taking notes.
Yeah.
I was taking notes. And now it's, what does the process look like to ingest a lot of information over a short span of time? And then how do you activate on it?
Yeah.
And that's a challenge. I mean, I think that's a challenge, but I think that there's very high level takeaways that we can all do something with right now. You know, because I think, and I read the book, and I thought the book was really well written. But when they break it down, I love the concept. I love books that have numbers on it, like the 6 things, the 3 things, the 4 things, because it's a framework. And I like the way my mind works. I love frameworks. And so when I saw their framework, which they didn't do in the book, for us, where we work through that process, I think we work through it a minimum of 3 times. And that's what really resonated with me. We work through it together as executives.
Yep.
And then we work through it again with our director teams.
Yep.
And then we work through it with the GMs. There's 4 times. And then the GMs,
Implementation.
they have to do it again.
Yeah.
And I think that was really powerful. Irregardless of where you fall inside of those 6, failing to do that process is a failure of being a genius in your work.
Right.
And I don't know. I thought that was like, it's super high level, but I thought that was a really high level takeaway of, here's a basic framework.
Yeah.
What does it look like to implement it? And how many times do we need to implement? Because the cool thing is, every time we implement it, we make it better. Because we rediscern, we re-wonder it, we create it, we rediscern it, activate the whole 9 yards. We do the whole widget.
The widget.
And, I don't know. I think there's a lot of power in that.
Yep. And I think too, what you're saying is using the framework widget, okay, and finding clarity in the decision or the change that we're trying to implement at a very big level, right? We're talking about a lot of confident, talented human beings that, you know, all have their working genius. And this labels, one of my favorite things is it actually gives us kind of some terminology.
Yes, I like that too.
So it gives us terminology to go and actually like pull together our team and allow them to work inside their genius, but then also to get everybody working towards this and understanding clarity, right? We talk about clarity.
Yeah, I love what you said there, because I agree really with that. Common language of how we want to run this process through. Because I do think there's fear sometimes. So like, as an example, and we don't want to do this right now, that's why I'm going to use this example. If I said to the group, I'm thinking about a DMS change, it would freak everyone out. But maybe all I'm saying is, I wonder
what's out there.
If there could be something better.
And can we just have and I never do this truly.
Tachyon, you're out. No, just kidding.
You know, is it worth having a very 1,000-foot conversation of like, what kind of tech is out there in automotive DMS? And we have no intention.
No.
It's just for sake of wonder. And you know what? If we do that, in my head, I'm thinking, all right, if we only do it every now and then, it won't work. But if we have this as part of our framework, because one thing we found out is we all lack wonder. As something we enjoy doing, because it slows us down.
Right.
And it's wasteful, potentially.
Yes.
Because if we might have 10 wonder conversations to maybe take one idea to invention. And that doesn't mean it gets past discernment.
No. It sounds like a lot of deathly meetings.
Well, I don't know if that's a meeting as much as that's just
a brainstorm.
It's a wonder conversation.
Yeah, conversation.
I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you last time I've had a wonder conversation.
I can't either.
I don't even know what that potentially looks like.
Well, it's none of us.
Well,
so as they say, we got to borrow a wanderer in our company.
Or create a framework that forces us to do it.
Right.
I love the concept of making a framework.
Me too.
That pushes you. Because so this was another pickup I had. It's not a weakness. So every job that we have, it's a 6-letter job, widget. We have to do them all. It's just, I enjoy doing some things more than others, but I do them all.
Yes.
Right. But naturally, I'm always going to lean towards doing what I enjoy.
Yeah.
All of us.
And we should.
Because if we don't, we'll burn out.
Right.
But that's not an excuse not to say, well, what is a framework for me to bring this all the way through if I don't have a wonder on my executive team? Because I think we cover the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
okay.
we do. Yeah.
So it's just that one. So what's the framework that
It's
we
the
need?
starting point.
Yeah, and it's the start of it all too.
It's the start, which obviously when we start to come up with a new concept or we start to search for a new tool or a new role, like it's because we found a problem,
That's right.
that is part of the wonder phase. So
It is.
I think it's the fact that we like rush out of that.
Yeah.
We don't spend enough time in that phase before we start to galvanize and invent and move along. One thing too I thought was powerful was the decision line. Like they gave us an intentional time when we can say, hey, we're coming into this meeting. We're not trying to make a decision. We're just trying to invent, right? Or to solve that issue that we all are aware of.
I think that's strong. I that was a good takeaway for me too. Is like we don't need to bring things in and saying this is what we're doing. And I think we've done a lot better job of this.
Yes.
But there's room for improvement, of course. It's more of it's bringing it in. It's maybe past the wonder stage. It's probably falling in between the invention and galvanizing stage, but the decision hasn't been made yet. And so it's like, put holes in it.
Yeah.
You know, do we like this? And if we don't, who cares? Like,
Right.
let's just move on. Let's kick it out. We don't need it. We haven't committed to it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because the widget has gears, and I almost look at it as like it's like a roller coaster, where you go wonder to the creation to the discernment, and that's just a roller coaster going around and around until the lever's pulled and it goes to the next stage of galvanization and getting excited about an idea.
Yeah.
And it's cool that loop can continue to happen. You know, I think as leaders, you know, I think we need to be able to notice when that loop when we need more loops.
Yeah.
And also when that lever is ready to be pulled.
Yeah. And another point that we opened with yesterday was the best leader is what? The most self-aware leader.
Yeah.
Right? It's not necessarily, the best leader is IG.
Yeah.
Or what were your
I was a
ET?
ET.
Right? So like that's all important that we are aware, but it doesn't mean the CEO or the general manager has to be this in order to be successful, which I think sometimes we run out of these type of trainings and it's easy to label and go like, hey, I'm never going to hire a salesperson that has wonder.
Too many questions.
Right?
Well,
they're gonna
and I think
slow the sales process down.
The other phrase that plays into that I thought plays into that is the self-awareness is that a well-rounded team outperforms a well-rounded leader every day. So what's the focus?
Yeah.
It's not like I'm trying to find that perfect sales manager.
Yeah.
I think that's an aha moment. I don't need a perfect sales manager. I need a perfect sales manager team. It's like, so what does a well-rounded team look like instead of the concept of three people that we think are, I'm going to say A players, but they're not a team.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just well-rounded leaders, but they don't work well together.
Yeah.
Is that functional? And according to what this is telling us, that's dysfunction.
Right.
And that's not an effective way to grow.
Yeah.
It's going to hinder your growth. And so I don't know. I think that's an interesting concept. A well-rounded team is more impactful and outperforms a well-rounded leader every day. So where are we putting our effort? Rounding people out or rounding teams out?
Yeah.
I thought I like that.
Well, I don't think anyone would doubt that the last 2 days aligned with our purpose statement of driving relationships
Absolutely.
through awesome experiences. So I'm excited. I can't wait to hear some of the recaps that we got to on video with the general managers. I think that's going to be great because really that's where we're doing this. It's the scale. If this doesn't scale, then we probably didn't spend our time wisely. So thanks for joining us on the pod. on the studio.
Always a good time.
It's always a good time. So let's roll.